Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. Today we're talking about My Hero Academia, Season 7, Episode 21. Holy emotions, tears in the eyes happening. Beautiful episode. And apparently there is going to be one more season, so it's not going to be a movie or anything. I don't know how many episodes we're going to get for Season 8 and or when Season 8 is going to come out, but expect a 6 month to a year wait. That's typically the waiting time in between seasons. And I'm going to be sad when that happens because, My Hero Academia anime has been around. I think, was I first starting college when it came out? That's what I'm trying to remember. So I feel like I am holding on to a piece of my college experience, if you will. And when that ends, I'm gonna have to just let it go, and that's gonna be all she wrote. It'll be over and done with. But here we are. So the beginning of this, we are getting Uraka versus Toga still, even though it's essentially the end of the battle. Have Toga smiling there, saying she's the cutest smile in the world. We'll go ahead and skip past the intro. The blood has completely worn off at this point in time. Everybody is down for the count. Toga has, as I said, to me, I think it's some sort of bodysuit type deal. She's not fully naked, so you're good. You're good, but there's your fan service if you were looking for it. And Uraka is basically dying. Well, she is dying. So she got stabbed. She has severe blood loss, and she's going to die. And as I mentioned last episode, I didn't think she was actually going to die, being that she is the love interest of the main protagonist. So she can't die. They have to be together at the end of this. Toga sees this, and Toga realizes there's really nothing else at this point in time that she can do, because she's going to be in jail for life. She has committed a whole bunch of crimes, killed a bunch of people, was, one of the main people in the League of Villains / Paranormal Liberation Front, whatever you want to call it. And the rest of her life is going to be just pent up in jail, waiting, hoping Uraka shows up to give her some blood. And she does not want to live that life. And she sees her friend dying. Uraka she considers Uraka a very dear friend to her. So what she ends up doing is transforming into her. And when she has the ability to use somebody else's quirk, her blood actually becomes the same as that person's blood. So she is essentially giving Uraka a blood transfusion. She breaks off part of her machine, sews up Uraka's wound, and she said, "I'm going to give you all of my blood." Now, she didn't need to give all of her blood to Uraka, definitely some of it. They could have I would argue they definitely could have both have lived here. Even though Uraka did lose a lot of blood, even if she gave her, a quarter of her blood, yes, she would be very lightheaded and very dizzy. I have given blood myself multiple times, and if I ever do doubles, definitely feeling it after that, which is why I typically just do the singles. But it takes a long time to build that amount of blood back up in your body. So she could have definitely done that. They could have definitely both lived, but she saw the life that was going to happen after this battle. She did not want to do it, and she lived and loved her life the way she wanted to. I think that was a direct quote from her in this episode. And she does end up dying. She's there the entire time. She gives Uraka the little All Might back, and Toga's pretty much dead. She said she wishes that, she knew how much joy giving blood could have been a lot earlier in life. But she's like, "I'm the girl with the cutest smile in the world," and that's it. That's it for Toga. That battle is done. Check the box, if you will. Definitely wasn't expecting Toga to die. Because, if Dabi can live after that crazy crap, getting his arm blown off and basically being a burnt husk, kind of wasn't really expecting anyone to die. It's also a shonen anime, and shonen anime are known for not killing that many people. Or if they do, it's like a background character like Neji in Naruto. So it's kind of like, okay, he doesn't really have any significance to the storyline whatsoever, so who cares? And that's kind of what they did. Toga, I guess, is to a certain extent a background character, but wasn't expecting her to go out like that. Moving forward with the later half of this episode, we have a battle that everybody has wanted to see in the original battle, but we got another battle instead. So we got Mecha Suit All Might versus All for One, which is really, really cool. So while he was in America, this kind of relates to the movies too. They designed a suit for him to give him a bunch of powers, essentially, so he could be a superhero again. And he is, and he fights All for One. Does he stand a chance? No. No, he knows he does not stand a chance, even with all this crazy technology. He knows that his goal is to slow him down enough where he Erie's rewind quirk kills him. That is All Might's goal, is give Deku enough time to defeat Shigaraki, and which is going to that's probably the only fight we have left is Deku versus Shigaraki. In a little bit, we'll get a little bit of All Might versus All for One as well. But the goal is essentially to take him down. And that, it's not necessarily defeat him, but stall him out long enough so Erie's quirk does its thing and he is done for. That is the goal here of All Might. So they're fighting back and forth pretty good. He's actually giving All for One a run for his money here, beating him up a little bit. Not severely injuring him, but definitely injuring him enough to cause him to use major explosive attacks like this, where he's combining quirks. And we know the more he uses his quirk, the faster rewind happens. And also, the more he gets damaged, the faster rewind happens. So the goal is to damage him as much as he can, dodge his attacks as much as he can, and just get rewind to finish him off, do his thing. And at one point, he is actually able to inject him. Let's see here if I can find the image. Might not be able to find it. But he ends up injecting him. We're going to try to find it here. We'll see if I can find it. We'll fast forward a little bit. With Pinky's quirk. So, she got the acid and everything. So essentially a giant bottle of acid into his body, eating all of his internal organs. So that rewind quirk's working hard to get that out of his system. But he's like, I didn't fall for your stall tactic. I simply had enough time. So yeah, there we go. Actually, right there is one. You can see his whole body turning pink when he ends up injecting it into him, making him even younger. And he mentions that at this point, All Might calls himself a 50-year-old man. I thought All Might was in his 40s. Maybe he did hit the 50 mark. Maybe he was late 40s when Deku got One for All. And then he turned 50 at some point because he was like, wow, this is kind of weird, a 50-year-old beating up a teenager, even though All for One is like 1,000 years old or something, several hundred years old at the very least. I don't know if we have an exact age for him. You're talking, or is there 8 or 9 users of All for One, or One for All rather? So you got to figure most of them didn't fully live out their entire lives. But you got to figure at least a couple hundred years, I would say, at the minimum. At the minimum here. So we see young All Might talking to his master, the past user, and this is what he said, that there needs to be a symbol of peace, and I'm assuming that's how the transaction happened with her giving him One for All. We don't directly see that, but I'm guessing that's how that happened. So this is, All Might's getting pretty beat up. All of his systems are failing. He may or may not die here. As I said, it would not surprise me if All Might actually died, because that would make sense. He sacrificed himself to save the next generation. He went out a hero. To me, that would make perfect sense how All Might goes out. Will that actually happen? I do not know. But, he's talking about everybody give me your powers. So he's using his support items. This is where he's talking about how using his powers and also getting damage causes rewind to go even faster. It'd be cool if Stain showed up, but this is him kind of with all the mechas on him all together. And, we got something in the past, basically seeing, there's been heroes in the past that if all they can rely on is their mechas, it's not really good, because the second that gets destroyed, I hate to say they're useless, but All Might would essentially be useless if he did not have this mecha suit at this point in time. And he has crushed ribs right now. He has potential organs that are more damaged than they previously were. and it is not good. I really hope they give us, even if it's like a movie, I don't really care. I would love to see All Might versus All for One back when both of them were roughly the same age, at least looking, and both in their primes. I want to see All for One lose his face, and I want to see All Might get some of his organs ripped out of him. I think a lot of the fans would love to see that fight. I know there is like a side manga thing with Mirko and them, and there's like a couple of different side mangas off of the main one. So it wouldn't surprise me if we got a couple of spin-off shows in the future as well. But that's pretty much where we end it with, All Might and All for One going at it, Deku Shigaraki going at it, and then it says here, to be continued final season. So season 8 will be the last season. I wonder if this is foreshadowing All Might getting killed by All for One. I wouldn't surprise me if they kind of go out together. That would make sense, them defeating each other, if you will. That would not surprise me if that happened. All for One never gets to Deku and Shigaraki, and then All Might did his job to stall them enough for Deku to take out Shigaraki. Definitely would not surprise me if that's how it ended. But 10 out of 10 overall. I can't see really any complaints. I wasn't expecting the whole Mecha Suit All Might thing. That was a pretty good thing. That was something I'm very thankful never got spoiled for me, because with the manga, you get a lot of spoilers. It just kind of happens, especially if you're doing what I'm doing, which is talking about anime. In my recommended feed, you get constantly stuff like, for instance, Bakugo. We still don't know if Bakugo is alive or dead, but Bakugo dying, I knew that a very long time ago, like when that happened in the manga. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I hope Edgeshot didn't sacrifice his life for nothing, but that we are left with that. Is Bakugo actually dead? What's going to happen with All Might and All for One? And then obviously we're going to have Deku versus Shigaraki, and then that's going to be the show. Deku will become the number one hero, and then we will probably see, some people couple off. My guess, you're going to have Deku and Uraka, sorry. You're going to probably have Shoto and Momo. That's my guess. Probably Denki and Gyro. Probably those two are going to get together. I'm going to say Papa off. He's going to be alone. He's going to be alone and miserable because he's just a perverted character. So I don't see him being with one of the girls in the class, unless he's with the Invisible Girl. I could see that happening, but who knows? We'll just have to wait and see until next season, and we'll see if we get some spin-off shows. Don't want to make this any longer because the episode is only 23 minutes, and I'm talking for half of that, a little bit more than half of that. So thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell, like, share, comment, subscribe yet again. Stay tuned tomorrow for you're going to get Tower of God clip. Monday, you are going to get the Bleach clip. Then there's going to be a couple episodes of Kite Man next week as well. And then next Saturday is going to turn into the Bleach clips, being that this is the season finale of My Hero Academia. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.